There were all of these, when Broadway shut down and, all of these dance studios and art spaces and everything just sort of stopped, like the plug was just pulled. And it was called, I think, New York Pause. But I feel like, was it a pause? I think it was more like New York Halt or something, I mean, not only are we in a global pandemic, but we're experiencing a social revolution. I mean, people are crying out in so many ways against so many injustices and so many inequities and so many, emotions are bubbling to the surface, and people are looking for an outlet and looking for community and looking for support. And it's so interesting because something like a pandemic asks people to separate and to distance.
So just like any good movie, there are credits. So you can see the title of each of those sections. So you may be sitting there thinking, oh no, the projector was kind of light, I couldn't really see it, or oh no, my Zoom was glitchy. That's technology, right? And we sort of settle in that. And the good news about those two projected projects is they live on our Vimeo page. So you can go home tonight and you can rewatch them, which is exciting.
Even in physical space, I haven't given hugs in months. I'm a hugger, and it feels like, how do you remain authentic to who you are and what is important to you, not just as an artist, but as a human being, And I think that, obviously the arts community has been radically shook. I mean, to a point where there are a lot of things that will not come back from this. A lot of people have left the field, a lot of institutions and really important, integral people have no more presence in the arts community. And that's heartbreaking, right? Because at the same time, it's those people and those institutions that we have needed. All of those people were still being asked to be present and saviors, like when you were still watching movies and reading and listening and, turning to art and to these things to get you through, but you couldn't, we weren't able to physically have those things existing. So it's like kind of this really bizarre imbalance, because it's like we really need these things, but we can't have them. But how can we have them in a new way? And that's sort of where I decided to turn as an artist.
And Zoom, that is basically in a nutshell how we built work this entire year, or since March was basically us. I would go, Talia, are you there? Talia, are you with us? And she's just like in a big balance. I'm like, wow, look at her core strength. That's awesome, right? But it's like all of these challenges and all of these things that were once like, oh gosh, we got to figure this out. And now we're getting really good at them, which is exciting.
The pandemic is horrible, and people have died, and people have relocated and lost their jobs, and people are overworked, and people are lonely, and people are experiencing so much. But art has the ability to respond. As an artist, I think I made the choice to respond. And in looking at sort of pre-pandemic Ballaro dance and current pandemic or post-pandemic Ballaro dance, I feel like we're a completely different organization. Our identity and our, how we do the stuff we're doing has changed, but who we are has remained the same. A friend of mine said, if anything, you are an organization that has developed an even stronger sense of purpose and a stronger sense of identity during this time. And it's made me realize things like working with the non-dancer and working with the first-time audience member and people who don't know dance is really important to me. And we're hosting performances that invite community participants to come and dance on Zoom and invite our audience to see them performing. And
we have been thinking about, like, how the heck do you show dance when people can't come into theaters? In our company, we have a See, Move, Share program, and so we're looking at ways that we can allow people to see dance in new and interesting ways. Moving, classes in person, classes online, and of course sharing. We are glad that you're here and munching and enjoying your time with us tonight.
You know, there's just so many ways to be building community in this two-dimensional space, and I feel like people are really hungry for it. You know, I mean, I have so many testimonials captured of people who've taken class, teachers who've attended our, yappy hour conversations, or conversations for collaborators, or, all of these different kinds of people who say, this is really important, and I didn't have community, or I don't have community, or this is the first time I felt this in a long time.